Hi, this is Pat Hanahoe-Dosch, your professor, and I'm here to welcome you to English 207, Introduction to Literature. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have some fun. I love this course. It's one of my favorite courses to teach. And I just wanted to cover a few things. So first of all, make sure, please, that you have read the news section here on the course homepage. It's very important. It's full of all kinds of information, particularly about how to contact me. And because of the pandemic, I can't be in my office, so I don't have regular office hours. Instead, I have to meet with you through Zoom or chat or through the telephone or email or however you want to do it. I believe Zoom is a very good tool for this. However, I know some of you are really tired of it, but realistically, it's the best tool for being able to talk together and to maybe even go over papers or whatever. I do not read drafts of papers online, through email or anything. I would prefer to talk to you. If you want me to look at your draft, you have to Zoom with me and we'll go over it together and talk about it. There are a lot of reasons for that, but I think it's really important to do that if you wish. Keep in mind that I've set the course up in learning modules. So each week there's another learning module. They're weekly learning modules. You must go through them. You cannot avoid them. Each learning module contains all the reading material, all the videos or audio things that I want you to read or watch or listen to, and then a section do, which covers all the things that you need to do, that are due. D-U-E. This semester, they're going to be at least one big writing assignment and then a final exam, which is also a writing assignment, and a bunch of quizzes and tests. And then, of course, the course of discussions, which are basically writing assignments. And that's just how it has to be because we can't have actual discussions here. So we have to do them by writing. And that's where the real learning happens. So every week you will have a discussion assignment due, along with all the reading material, watching the material, and possibly quizzes and tests, and then a big writing assignment, which is also a research assignment. That's part of the course, and it's very important. So please make sure that you are able to see that in the Dropbox as well as everything else. Everything will be connected through the learning modules, but you can also see things in the Dropbox and the quiz sections and so forth. Now, I also included in some of the learning modules audio recordings of some classes that I taught face-to-face a number of years ago, covering some of the same materials. It's not for all the works that we're looking at, but for some of them. Unfortunately, we didn't have really good camera equipment at the time, so they're all audio, not video, but I thought they would be helpful to you. Again, not all the courses, not all the works have that available because I didn't teach those at the time or whatever. In one case, it was a disaster technologically, so it didn't happen. So anyway, hopefully those things will help you. If you have any questions as you go, please make sure you ask. It's very important. It's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. So please contact me, again, through Zoom, email, phone, whatever. Please see the news section here for how to do that. I will also have weekly Zoom office hours where I will be on Zoom at that particular time and day for an hour or two. I forget. I haven't figured out my office hours quite yet, but they will be in the news section. By the time you see this, I should have figured it out, and they'll be there, right? So you're always welcome to just drop by, but you don't have to wait for those sessions. You can contact me and say, hey, can we Zoom? Or hey, can I talk to you on the phone? Or whatever. Okay, I'm happy to help you. That's what I'm here for. Your textbook is a brand new edition of this book, and I know a lot of you probably want to buy the old edition because it's much cheaper by now because it's old. And that's okay. You can do that. However, be advised that the page numbers will be different. So you're going to have to kind of scrounge and look for the comparable page numbers. I've tried to set up the reading assignments so that you can tell what the chapters are without the page numbers. So you should be able to do that. But you will also have problems with the MLA citation style. The old textbooks don't have the new MLA 8th edition style. So you won't be able to use your textbook for that. You will have to use one of the websites. I think I've got them in the helpful links section, and I post them periodically in the learning modules too. So there are plenty of helpful websites out there on MLA 8th edition, the new style. The best is probably the OWL at Purdue, OWL at Purdue online. It's OWL is an online writing lab. So please use that then, or some other comparable one. But you can do that. I believe all the stories and poems and plays are in there in the older editions as well as the new one. The textbook also has a glossary at the end, which can be very helpful to you for learning the terms. So please make sure you use that as the course goes on. But I also included a glossary within the D2L classroom. Excuse me, it's Brightspace now. D2L is the old term. So please make sure that you check that out too. There's also a little facts section in that same spot. It's under content. You click content and you'll see glossary, facts, and content again. So the facts section also has some important things that I think are helpful to you. So please check those out. Make sure that you get to know D2L or Brightspace and the entire course so that you can ask questions right away. You don't want to get stuck on something later on because you didn't know how to do the course. Make sure you turn things in on time. If you don't, the Dropbox will close, okay, or the quizzes will close. The discussions will be open for at least a week after the due date for late discussions, but there's a serious penalty point-wise for doing that. But I keep them open because we also will be replying to each other for a week after that. Don't confuse the dates that the discussion sections are open with the actual due dates. They're different. The due dates are actually in the introduction to the discussions when I give you the assignment in there. The due dates are there. They're also in the learning modules. I mean, it should be pretty apparent. Everything will be due Sunday night of that learning module, right? Sometimes as I go through and modify a course and redo things and so on, sometimes I make mistakes. I mean, we're all human, and D2L can be pretty complicated to put together. So sometimes I might skip a date or just mess something up. So if you see something weird or confusing about a date or whatever, make sure you contact me. Let me know right away and I can fix it. All right, and I'll let you know. Please don't be shy about that. It's very important. And other than that, just please enjoy the course. I'm happy that you're taking this course with me. I love literature. I love teaching literature. I love reading literature. And I think literature is very, very important. It is, in fact, literature is the study of the human soul, the human condition. By reading literature, and there have been studies that prove this, reading literature makes people more empathetic. And it's why it's often important in even medical schools. They make doctors take literature classes so that they, especially with poetry, because it makes you more empathetic. But it also helps you to understand that you're not alone in this world. None of us are alone in this world. We have common experiences, no matter how different our cultures and lives are. And those common experiences can create bonds between us. And that's why, another reason why it's so important to read literature. Reading literature also helps us to think and read and write critically, because you have to learn to read beneath the surface. Very little in literature is superficial or what you might just see from the first reading. By exploring it and looking in depth at it, at what's happening figuratively in the deeper areas of the stories or poems or plays, we get a lot more out of it. And that's really important because that's an important skill to take into any other aspect of our lives. So that's what literature does for us, among many other things. I think literature is the study of the human soul, and it's empowering in many ways. And I think particularly in this time of terrible uncertainty and grief and pandemic and other problems too, social upheaval, and so forth. I think we need that. Literature possibly might save us all because it helps us to, again, to see each other as human beings, to be empathetic, to see where other people are coming from. But it also allows us to understand that we're not alone. And it helps us to examine the human condition, who we are as human beings, what makes us human, and what do we learn from certain things. So literature is very, very important, I think. And hopefully you will think some of that too by the time you finish this course. Now, you won't like everything that I'm assigning here. I assign them because I like them. And I think they're important works because they're ones that you'll hear referenced culturally in a lot of ways. Or because they provide certain levels of diversity, or because I just think the authors are important, or because I like them. Possibly too, some of them I choose because you can look at them and learn about certain um, terms and things, concepts about literature from them pretty easily. And that's part of what this course does, is an intro course. So it's designed to teach you about, you know, different terms and how to read literature and so on. So that's important. Now, again, you might not like everything, but you can at least respect them. You know, it's all subjective. We all have different tastes. So you'll like some of the works, but you might not like others. But again, even if you don't like it particularly, subjectively, you can and you should be able to learn something from it and still get something important from it, because everything we're studying here are great works of literature and wonderful. At the very least, they work really well at the level of language. Um, I personally find language and the way authors use language pleasing, and if the author does it well. So there's that pleasure, but there's also the pleasure of a good story or of a good poem or what you get out of it thematically, and so on. So hopefully you will have a wonderful experience here in learning about these. If you have any other questions, please make sure to let me know. And I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to say welcome to this course and good luck, and stay in contact with me if you have any questions or problems, and take care and stay safe out there. Bye-bye.